I've always had a fear of clowns. Their exaggerated features, painted smiles, and the way they seem to hide their true intentions behind a mask of false cheerfulness have always sent shivers down my spine. It's a fear that's been with me since childhood, and no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to shake it off. One dark and stormy night, as the rain poured down outside, I found myself alone in my small apartment. I had just finished watching a horror movie marathon, foolishly thinking that it would help desensitize me to my fear of clowns. Little did I know that the night was about to take a terrifying turn. As I sat on my couch, still feeling the remnants of fear from the movies, I heard a soft, distant tapping at my door. My heart skipped a beat and I paused for a moment, hoping that it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But the tapping grew louder and more insistent, echoing through the empty hallway. Reluctantly, I got up and made my way to the door, my palms sweaty and my legs feeling like jelly. I peered through the peephole, my breath catching in my throat when I saw a figure standing on the other side. A clown, his face painted in garish colors, his lips curled into a sinister smile. My heart raced and I stumbled backward, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. How did he know about my fear? Was this some sick joke? I decided to ignore it, hoping that the clown would go away. But as I turned away, a chilling laughter filled the air, seeping through the cracks of my apartment door. Panic set in, and I quickly ran to my bedroom, searching for my phone to call the police. But as I reached for it, I realized with horror that there was no signal. I was trapped, alone with this nightmarish clown. The laughter grew louder, reverberating through the walls, sending shivers down my spine. I could feel his presence drawing closer, his heavy footsteps resonating in my ears. I hid under my bed, clutching my trembling hands together, praying that he would just leave. But my prayers went unanswered as the bedroom door creaked open slowly, revealing the figure standing in the doorway. His face was pale, the white makeup contrasting sharply with the darkness of the room. His eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light, and his teeth were sharp, like that of a predator. I could hardly breathe, paralyzed with terror, as he slowly made his way towards me. "Hello, my dear," he whispered, his voice a chilling melody. "Are you ready for a night of fun and games?" His laughter echoed through the room, drowning out my desperate cries for help. I tried to crawl away, but his grip on my ankle tightened, preventing my escape. He dragged me out from under the bed, his cold, bony fingers digging into my flesh. My mind screamed for release, for someone to save me from this nightmare, but I knew deep down that there was no escape. I was trapped in a horror story of my own making. The clown's face contorted into a grotesque smile as he raised a knife, the blade glinting ominously in the dim light. I closed my eyes, bracing myself for the inevitable, but as the seconds ticked by, I felt no pain. I cautiously opened my eyes to find the clown gone, as if he had vanished into thin air. Trembling, I stumbled to my feet, unsure of what had just happened. Had it all been a hallucination, a product of my fear, or was there something more sinister at play? I may never know the answers, but one thing is certain. I'll never be able to look at a clown the same way again. The fear that once lingered in the depths of my mind has now become a haunting reality. A constant reminder that sometimes, the things we fear the most can be all too real.
In the small town of Ravenswood, there was a circus that arrived every summer, bringing joy and laughter to the locals. But this was no ordinary circus. It was a circus of horrors, filled with macabre acts and frightening performers. The centerpiece of this twisted spectacle was a troupe of terrifying clowns. As a teenager, I had always been fascinated by the strange and unusual. I had heard rumors about the eerie circus, and my curiosity got the best of me. One fateful summer night, I made the decision to sneak into the circus grounds and witness the dark wonders that lay within. Under the cover of darkness, I carefully made my way through the abandoned fairgrounds. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the distant sound of eerie music and occasional cackles. The closer I got, the more my heart pounded in anticipation and fear. I found a hidden spot near the main tent and peered through a tear in the fabric. What I saw sent chills down my spine. The ringmaster, a tall and imposing figure, stood in the center, dressed in a blood-red suit. He commanded the attention of the crowd with his booming voice, as the clowns prepared for their performance. The clowns emerged one by one, each more grotesque and nightmarish than the last. Their faces were distorted, their smiles twisted into sinister grins. Their eyes glowed with an unholy light, and their laughter echoed with a malevolence that made my blood run cold. The audience laughed and cheered, oblivious to the true nature of the spectacle before them. But I knew better. I could sense the darkness that radiated from these clowns, a darkness that seeped into every corner of the tent. As the show progressed, the clowns performed their acts with uncanny precision. They juggled knives, their sharp blades glinting in the dim light. They contorted their bodies into impossible shapes, their bones seemingly defying the laws of nature. And their tricks? Oh, their tricks were not the innocent pranks of ordinary clowns. They were acts of terror, designed to instill fear and despair. Suddenly, one of the clowns noticed my presence. His eyes locked onto mine, and a wicked grin spread across his face. The laughter of the audience faded into the background as he approached the tear in the tent, his footsteps growing louder and heavier with each passing second. I turned to run, but before I could make my escape, a strong hand gripped my shoulder, forcing me to face the horror before me. The clown's face was inches away from mine, his eyes filled with a malevolent glee. His laughter pierced my ears, sending shivers down my spine. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered, his voice laced with venom. "Now, you will become a part of our eternal carnival." The other clowns circled around me, their presence suffocating. Their laughter blended into a cacophony of madness as they closed in, their grotesque faces contorted with anticipation. I screamed, desperately pleading for mercy, but my cries were drowned out by their laughter. The clowns dragged me into their nightmarish world, a realm of eternal fear and torment. In that cursed circus, I became just another performer, forever trapped in a never-ending cycle of horror. Each night, as the circus came to life, I would take the stage, my face painted with a permanent grin, my soul forever lost. Now I am a mere shadow of my former self, a haunting reminder of the dangers that lie hidden beneath the surface of innocence. So heed my warning. Beware the clowns that lurk in the darkness, for once you enter their realm, escape becomes an impossibility.